So this is my 1994 Cannondale H300. It's a handmade USA bike that most folks would just pass by. But the frame has got great bones and I'm not going to restore it. I'm going to modernize this bike with a 1x9 drivetrain, better brakes, and a way more comfortable cockpit. The goal of this build is to see if I can turn this 30-year-old bike into the perfect everyday bike. So I started with these flat bars, cantilever brakes, and friction shifters. On this bike I loved the smooth welds and that transition on the paint from black to silver. An Altus 3x6 drivetrain, cantilever brakes, and this neat USA decal. The frame is an extra large 22-inch. The teardown went really smooth on this bike. Everything was in pretty good shape. Every part was stripped down and shined up. The derailleur came from my Trek 970 project. Once I degreased everything, I shined it all up with a little bit of soap and water and then some polish. "30-year-old parts can make a pile of greasy muck." With everything clean, I polished the parts that I could. The frame got the same treatment: a deep clean, a T-cut to remove the scratches, and then wax. The frame was in really good shape for being over 30 years old. After working out the scratches I could, it was time to buff up the frame. Hopefully you can see it, but the white lettering has a black border. Just beautiful. Those smooth welds just scream Cannondale. The new parts I bought are as follows. The rest is all used. So I got a new rear wheel for $58, Ergon grips $28, a chain for $14, brake pads for $12, cables and housings, I'm thinking $12, and a new bottom bracket. Brings my total to about $132. So if it doesn't have a price on the screen, it's all used parts from my bins. The assembly went pretty smooth, except for a couple things that we'll talk about. That shiny cassette came from a 20-year-old Gary Fisher I rebuilt in another video. I did have to buy a new wheel to run that 9-speed cassette. I needed a freehub. So this BB is a 68 by 110.5. The brake calipers came from that 2006 Gary Fisher. They're Avid single-digit 3s. A 9-speed Alivio trigger shifter, and some Tektro brake levers that are 20 years old. The derailleur is from a 97 Trek 970. If the chainring is going to fit is always the big mystery in a build like this. Luckily, I got bins of bottom brackets in order to move this chainring outboard. So this is a 68 by 120 bottom bracket. I like pedals on whenever I do indexing. Nice components just tune in so easy. This XT derailleur is pretty nice. Putting on the brakes was pretty straightforward, just a little test of my old eyes. For a bike like this, I just love the Cell Royale Vivo saddle. When I was in high school in the mid-'80s, these water bottles were just the rage. They really don't work that good. The Velcro gets all gummed up with dirt. So I think this guy is done. I think it turned out good, but looking good in the stand is one thing. The proof in the pudding is getting it outside, getting some beauty shots, and pedaling it around. So could I go out and buy a new bike that does everything this Cannondale does? Yeah, sure. But I've got about, I'm thinking $135 into this bike. Plus I used up a bunch of quality old parts I had in the bins. And now I've got a 1x9 XT drivetrain, good V-brakes, and a comfortable cockpit. And all of this is on a 32-year-old made in the USA Cannondale that rides pretty darn nice. Probably the most important part, doesn't feel like an old bike anymore. For me, I'd take this guy over a new hybrid any day. I'm really happy with this one. And as always, thanks for watching, subscribe, and keep pedaling.